So this is what happens when you go from grossing $125,000 a year to about $10,000. I've gotten a request from CJ. I'm going to do a breakdown of how I remade the song called Leave the City by 21 Pilots. And I'm going to do the whole thing in my Grubhub t-shirt. This is what I do for work since YouTube doesn't pay all the bills around here. And I'm very tired. Yeah, so this is the grind, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the 21 Pilots instrumental breakdown, how I remade it. All the instruments and all that stuff. This is the worst intro ever. I'm shooting the night before, and I will have to edit this video for the next few hours. Alright, so this song, Leave the City by 21 Pilots, is driven by a piano sound, an upright piano. So I went into Machine, wanted to start off with this melody because it is what drives the whole song, and as you know, that's how I start off my instrumentals. So I went ahead and found upright piano in Contact. I played that out, and then I added a reverb to it, and I changed the sound to where it's got a little bit of a more muted sound to it, not so harsh, to kind of match the sound that's in the actual song, and that sounds like this. Next up, I wanted to add some bass to it, some bottom, because the song is really repetitive. The piano does the same thing throughout the entire song, but it does have a bass that comes in, and instead of using like a fret or a pick bass or whatever they use in there, I just used my favorite bass because I wanted a more legato sound for it. So I used feedback bass, turned down the effects, turned down the cutoff, and I got this sound that I usually get, and added an EQ, turned up the bottom, the low end of the EQ to get a more full sound without turning up the volume, and you get something that sounds like this. Now, when it comes to live drums, live instrumentation for drums, you guys have heard me talk about this a lot before when I was doing the remakes to Justin Timberlake's songs from Man of the Woods, especially Filthy and Say Something. So I like to use Contact drums or the Abbey Road drummer. Those are like one of my favorite go-tos for live instrumentation, live drumming, trying to mimic that sound. So I got one, it's like a jazz preset to, I think, the Abbey Road drummer. And I basically played around with the toms to get the same kind of drum fills and like the loop that they had going on. Usually when I use these drums, the kick is not it's not strong enough for my liking, so I like to layer it with another kick. So in this case, what I did is I layered it with Kick Ancient Aliens 2. That gave it more of a lower end, a more punchy, more bassy feel to it. And I kind of mimicked that, and this is what I came up with. What happens in this song is later on there are a few like airy, spacey synths that come in. Now they do something a little bit different in the actual song itself, but I wanted to go ahead and throw my flair on it, and it kind of has the same effect. But I love airy synths when it comes to slower melodic songs that are really repetitive, because it gives me more of like a feeling that I'm floating. So when I'm producing, when I'm messing with these synths and I'm trying to get a feel for a song, I want to find an instrument that best suits the feeling that I'm trying to portray to whoever is watching the video or listening to the music or whatever it may be. So I naturally had a feeling that I was floating when I was listening to the song. It's very melodic and it just makes me feel like I'm, you know. So I went in my Machine and I looked up specifically airy pad synths, and I found one called Daedalus 2, I believe, in FM8, and another synth in Absinthe 5 called Departure. And I basically played those out. I layered both of them to kind of do the same thing, but one of them's got a little bit of movements, but they're playing the same chords. And basically once you play those two together, it sounds something like this. So you get that whole feeling that I'm talking about. It's like very airy, very floaty. It makes you feel like you're in like a cloud somewhere. You want to be able to portray that visual through the sound. You want to paint a picture through sound. That's what I try to do with my tracks. So you put everything together. You know, as the song is going, you start with the piano, then you go to the bass, you go to the drums, you bring in the airy synths for the chorus, and you end up with something that's like this. Basically, that is how I created 21 Pilots Leave the City remake, kind of a little bit of a remix with my own flair to it. This was a little bit of a shorter breakdown because the song is so repetitive and because I am recording this the night before and I still have to edit. But I thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something about production. If you have any questions down below, leave a comment, let me know. I'm always answering my phone. I got my phone with me. Thank you to this person right here who left a comment, who subscribed, who took the time out to tell me that they like the videos and all that stuff. I appreciate it. Also, I want to say thank you to my patrons. Everybody who's watching my videos, if you guys want to join my Patreon, feel free to do so. Link is in the description. Everything's in the description. I'm so tired. I need to sleep. I gotta edit this video. Grubhub. Shout out Grubhub for helping me with my YouTube grind. Goodness.